For a while, the little northeastern farming village of Huangbayu was set to become the most famous village in China because it was going to be transformed into a shining example of green design. It was to become a sustainable cradle-to-cradle village, a prototype community for hundreds of millions of rural Chinese. As the village's designer often said,
and one of the reasons that you have to pay attention to China is that China will build new housing for 400 million people in the next 12 years. This is the equivalent of rehousing the entire United States in 7 years. That's how big this is. It's so big that they've made making a brick illegal in 174 jurisdictions because they'll lose all their soil and burn all their coal. It has been estimated by the Premier of China that if China continues its current urbanization at the current rate, that they will lose 25% of their farmland by the year 2020. 25% of their farmland by 2020.
That was the prominent green architect William McDonough speaking at Vanderbilt University in 2006. The numbers he cites are astonishing, a powerful argument for careful planning and design. There's no question that China needs to adopt innovative methods as it grapples with growth and the environmental strains that result. And that's where McDonough comes in. A highly sought-after globe-trotting designer, McDonough is famous for projects like putting a grassy roof on a Ford factory. Currently, he's designing an eco-friendly office complex for Google. He's the only individual recipient of the Presidential Award for Sustainable Development. In 1999, Time magazine named him a hero for the planet, then did it again in 2007, this time calling him a hero of the environment and highlighting his work in China. In Huangbayu, he worked with the nonprofit China-U.S. Center for Sustainable Development, where he is the American chair of its board of counselors. That's him shaking hands with the Chinese co-chair, Deng Nan, the daughter of Deng Xiaoping and former Chinese Vice Minister of Science and Technology. The village design was based on McDonough's philosophy, in which materials are constantly recycled. For example, human and agricultural waste would be transformed into biogas, which would then be used to heat and light the homes. Now, this is just one of the high-profile international green building projects in China, which tend to be far larger and more ambitious than Huangbayu. But unlike many, this project exists beyond the planning stage, and so it will be an important example studied by the planners of China's future green communities. I first heard about Huangbayu and McDonough's other Chinese communities when I interviewed him in 2005. When I checked in on its progress 2 years later, what I found came as a surprise. Of the 42 new homes built in the first phase, only 2 were occupied by families. The rest sat empty. And judging from what I heard in the village, they'll probably stay empty. So last summer I went to Huangbayu to find out what happened and why.